You check your bank account, and something feels off. Not because you spent too much, but because the numbers don't seem to match your memory. You remember what you bought yesterday. You remember roughly how much you spent, but when you look at your balance, it doesn't line up the way you expect. Some charges look like they happened today. Others look like they happened earlier, and the order just feels wrong. It's like your spending is being rearranged after the fact. At first, it feels like you forgot something, or maybe you're misremembering. But after it happens a few times, you start to notice a pattern. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Your bank doesn't always show your transactions in the order you made them, and that changes how your money feels. Here's what's actually happening. When you make a payment, whether it's a coffee, a subscription, or a bill, it doesn't always get processed instantly. Some payments go through immediately, others take hours, some take days. And until they fully process, they sit in a kind of in-between state. That's why you sometimes see transactions labeled as pending. But here's where it gets confusing. When those pending transactions finally clear, they don't always slot back into your account in the exact order you made them. Instead, they get posted based on when they finish processing, not when you actually spent the money. So something you bought yesterday might show up today, and something you bought today might show up instantly. Now your transaction list is out of sync with your memory, and that creates a weird disconnect because your brain tracks spending in a story. I bought coffee in the morning. I paid for something later in the day. I didn't spend much after that. That's how it feels. But your bank doesn't show a story. It shows timestamps. And those timestamps are based on processing, not experience. Let me give you a simple example. You buy coffee on Monday morning. That charge stays pending. Later that day, you pay for something online, and that one goes through immediately. So your bank shows the second purchase first. Now it looks like that was your first expense of the day. Then the coffee shows up later, even though it actually happened earlier. Nothing changed in reality, but the order changed in your account. And that changes how you perceive your spending. Because when you scroll through your transactions, you're trying to reconstruct what happened. You're trying to make sense of it. But the sequence is slightly off, so your brain starts filling in gaps. It starts guessing. And that's where confusion comes from. You feel like something doesn't add up, even though technically it does. There's another layer to this. Sometimes multiple transactions clear at the same time, even if you made them hours apart or even days apart. So instead of seeing a gradual flow of spending, you see a cluster. 3 charges hit at once. Your balance drops suddenly, and it feels like you spent a lot in one moment, even though you didn't. That sudden drop creates a stronger emotional reaction because your brain reacts to change, not totals. A slow drop feels manageable. A sudden drop feels alarming. And this system creates those sudden drops, not because you spent differently, but because the timing of when things appear is different. Once you understand this, something shifts. You stop trusting the order of your transactions as a perfect timeline. You start seeing it as a processed version of events, not a real-time record. And that helps you stay calm when something looks off. Because instead of asking, "Did I spend this much all at once?" you start asking, "When did these actually happen?" That question alone clears a lot of confusion, because now you're thinking in real time instead of processed time. And that's the difference. Your bank account isn't lying to you, but it's not showing things the way you experienced them either. It's showing things the way they were processed, and those are 2 very different timelines. So next time you check your balance and something feels out of order, pause for a second. Look at the timing. Look at what just cleared, because chances are nothing went wrong. Your spending didn't change. The order just did. And once you understand that, Your balance stops feeling random. It starts making sense again.